We back with another video. I've seen a lot of pound for pound lists going out, and periodically I drop a pound for pound list myself. Just the way I see things, not saying this is the platinum standard for pound list, and probably some motherfuckers still gonna get upset. You start crying and shit, like a guy on my page crying, saying you're joking if you think Pacquiao really wasn't injured. Well, if Pacquiao really was injured, you show me the X-ray of where his shoulder was hurting at. Some of these fans are just, dumbfounded, and, crazy. They just can't fathom the fact that their favorite fighter, just has bitch tendencies sometimes. These all guys ain't all throwbacks. Remember, this is a business and people make business decisions and make excuses just like other motherfuckers in the world, you know what I'm saying? And, like I said, my channel is not for the faint of hearts, If you're a fanboy of a fighter and I don't like him, or I'm just gonna keep the truth on him, it is what it is. I keep 100 about whatever fighter, white, black, red, black, Mexican, whatever. Keep it 100. So let's kick the list off. Number one, I got Andre Ward. Obviously, his body of work speaks for itself, and the crying at fanboy, Kovalev, or European fan, is gonna cry about that shit. Hey, give me number one. Hey, best resume out of the bunch. Going back to the Super 6, people will cry and tell you about Lomachenko or Golovkin's fucking amateur record, but tend to forget about the Super 6, and act like the Super 6 never happened. He did it. His body of work there was critical, big, and whooping Kovalev made him number one. Number two, I got Sergey Kovalev. Before the Ward fight, he ain't never had that highlight reel fight versus a good prime opponent. I think he showed his worth and came up a little bit short versus Andre Ward, factually speaking, and me just looking at from my perspective, he came up a little bit short. And even though he's crying and making all these excuses, and he's a racist son of a bitch in my opinion, he's still the number 2 pound for pound fighter. I don't like any of that other bullshit, sway me or sway my perspective. And I think he has a great chance at beating Andre Ward in a rematch and being number 1. Even though he hasn't had those big marquee names, but he beat who he had to beat. Donna Stevenson fight, that wasn't completely his fault. It was his fault the second time around pulling out because he had an obligation to fight on HBO and not PBC. But he's good money. Definitely a solid number 2 in my opinion. Number 3, Keith Thurman. I see him being left out a lot of people pound for pound list. I see the Unuiwa, the Uniqua dude, and another Asian dude, and all these other guys on here. This dude has fought, solid opponents and passed each test, and he's the unified champion in the world's best division, the welterweight division. I don't see how people continue to overlook that about Keith Thurman. He's the guy at welterweight, however you want to slice the cake. Pacquiao is just a wild card. He's still top 3, but he's a wild card, not trying to really fight anybody. 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door as well. Terrence Crawford is number 4 for me. Soon to be undisputed champion, probably at the junior welterweight division. You can't overlook that. He's done what he had to do at 35 and 140. He cleaned out 140. I can't definitively say he cleaned out 135 because he didn't fight Linares. I think or like that. I don't think he was the number 1 champion, but a lot of people weren't lining up to fight him. But he's definitely the guy at 140 pounds. He beat his other rival, Victor Postal, and the skills are there, and his resume is starting to come, full circle in my opinion. And he's one of the top fighters in the sport, and he's a guy that, as good as he ran through 35 and 140 pounds, and he's probably going to be the king after beating Ndango. He still could, and he possibly still could clean out 147 pounds, and I think his odds of doing that is very good. If the fights could be made, and we could be looking at another transcendent superstar if he's promoted right, and everything falls in favor. Number 5, I got Vasily Lomachenko. A lot of people, probably call me crazy for putting him in the top 10. I seen Brandon Rios saying, how the fuck can he be top 10? And people started rounding off the names that he beat in his short career. And, Brandon Rios looked kind of dumbfounded. Still say, no, you can't be. And I like Brandon. But, Stu's beat Walters, Gary Russell, lost to Salido. I understand that in the second professional fight. But he beat some solid competition, and his quality, is great. It's better than some dudes, quantity with quality. You know what I mean? Some dudes got the quantity, but no quality in their fights. And at a short career, he got the quality. Not so much the quantity, but he got the quality. And I love his win. I love his skills. And the eyeball test is probably more in effect here, but I just think he's just tremendous talent in my opinion. At number 6, Chocolatito Roman Gonzalez. I still hold him high. I understand he lost to the dude in a very close fight, but I'm not gonna completely drop him off my top 10 just because of one bad night, because you never know how he was feeling. Sick, each boxer can have an off night. We'll see how it go in the rematch. He's negotiating his fight in Japan for the rematch with old boy, but I did feel old boy did win. Did knock him down, did win as well, and did a great job. But I think I'm not gonna just kick this man off my list. His body of work is too big to have one setback for a loss. And in boxing, everybody just over blow a loss. Number 7, I got Canelo Alvarez. I think his body of work overall is great, and then he has the star power as well to put him up there. I think he's slept upon, especially when it comes to Triple G as well. And he got the look, he got the popularity, and he got the solid resume of doing it. He's probably probably the highest paid current boxer outside of Manny Pacquiao right now. Number 8, Earl Spence. I don't see how people are leaving him off his list. I understand he only got one marquee fight, but he wiped the floor with Kell Brook, and people are trying to nitpick that fight. Oh, he started off slow. Kell Brook was doing this early, doing that early, but he made the adjustment, and he knocked Kell Brook out. Period. He did it in impressive fashion. He matched Triple G by breaking his other eye socket, and the kid is the goods. And potentially could be pound for pound number 1 if promoted and marketed right. And he's got a looming showdown with Keith Thurman, so he's definitely has an opportunity to move up very fast. But I don't see how other people can put these other clowns on here who absolutely have done nothing in their career, in my opinion. Number 9, Rigondeaux, he's hanging on by a fucking short thread. Thought about putting Inaki Naingwa, I can't pronounce his name, the Asian monster. But I realized that the Asian guy hadn't even fought outside of, Japan or whatever yet. And 13 fights in 5 years? I don't know if he has some promotional issues or what. But Rigondeaux, we going to see him versus Jazz Dickens. I think he's just too talented, but he's hanging on by a thread. He's in that Andre Ward semi-retirement category as well that he was in a couple years ago. But I think he's going to have a chance to make right and wrong. And number 10, I still got Pacquiao there for the simple fact that he does have one foot in the door, one foot out the door. But it's not too many people that's as talented still as Pacquiao and then has the body of work and the star power. I think he's just too popular to keep off the list. And he still got a lot left in the tank, even though he's fighting sorry-ass Jeff Horn. But I just think it's too, don't think it's too many guys, better than Manny Pacquiao. And he's going to have an opportunity to move up if he chooses to compete versus Crawford, Spence, and Keith. And he's going to have a chance if he fights 2 of them or 1 of them to move back up to close to number 1 in my opinion. Some guys are left off the list. I know most notably Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Like I told guys, I'm not putting that guy on my pound for pound list, until he at least fights Canelo and does well. I'm just not a believer in him yet. His resume is the worst resume for a 35-year-old quote-unquote superstar boxer. Like I said, he hasn't fought anybody that's an upper echelon opponent yet. And when he did with a little bit of Dane Jacobs, he struggled. But, we gone.